is I'm just gonna say this is Peggy Ann Childers. That's the name I have to use. My real name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and therein is why all this has happened to me. I usually lay out Hustler magazine where Larry Flint was shot, and where I was writing a book until about writing the book about mind control back 76 to 80. It's what happened to me April Fool Day of 80. But, I mean, it's an ongoing. I even had a letter from the FBI, National Security involved, in June the 23rd of 79. And it was issued, the FBI have to issue it, to the U.S. Attorney there, and that was William Harper, and James Baker was assistant. So I'm going to skip and fast forward. I usually show the Larry Flint where I ran in a campaign to replace one of the doctors I wrote about in the book, Larry McDonald. His plane was shot down when it veered into airspace, Russian airspace. All the passengers aboard that KAL went down and were killed. It was en route from Juneau, Alaska to Seoul, South Korea. And the problem is that Nixon, former President Nixon, was on that flight. He was taken off in Juneau. Now, how come? So, what I've been trying to, because I can't get an attorney, and law enforcement is involved in all this, orchestrating and carrying it out. I can't get an attorney. Since I came up here, my jobs got blocked and everything after I was out at Flint's, well, really prior. And I came up to Roanoke in October of 86, and I actually lived on the Appalachian Trail. And I named names, and everything I've said is true. I can't even put all of it up on YouTube or Facebook. I was given, or Instagram, I was given this phone so I could do it. I'm kept penniless. But this hasn't seemed to help either, putting it up on YouTube or any of it. But my what's happened is law enforcement at the highest level that can cross state lines and all that and gain the participation, because they get stuff on them too, of local or state law enforcement. Now then, I want to go to this one because I have been told again they've got me running because I'll just say that. I had to move across to this one where I was 2.5 years ago, Howard Johnson's, and it wasn't good when I stayed here before, but I could manage it. I'm not talking just money-wise, I'm talking about chemicals. There's a lot of carbon monoxide, but they didn't use chemicals to clean the room or anything. So I made it for about 2.5 months before I had to move somewhere else. And then he gets me on a run again and moving and soaking me till I can't take it anymore. And I go back and because they've made my word no good anymore. It doesn't matter what I show or do until I can get an attorney or until my country can bring me home. And look what's happened to them, the UK, the Brits. Then they can do what they want to. And I've been told tomorrow that maybe I should try to get out of town again over the state line. So this is Carl Barton. He gave me his address, and I don't wish them any bad luck. He's a retired Virginia State Trooper, and I'm just going to put this on here because my word's been made no good, even though everybody knows I'm telling the truth. I couldn't make it up. It all actually happened. If you had any good investigators or the news did that, people don't do their jobs, all right? None of this would happen. So I'm going to say this. He brought me down. His wife did. This is has me running from here to there to the campgrounds and paying there and trying to breathe and getting run back. And you try telling it to somebody who doesn't know or does know. They don't want any part of it. You find out what people are really like when you're in certain circumstances. They'll cut your throat. If their jobs, they feel like their jobs are threatened, or they're promised a job, or their kids might get, maybe they were caught driving drunk or whatever. You know what they can get on kids, that the charges be dropped, or they engage in what has been done to me. and I'm allergic to chemicals, that I have an immune disorder, and I have been force-fed where I would move toxic fumes, and you try to tell, this killed me. Over the years, it's got me to where I can't walk. It causes inflammation so bad, and the thing is, you can't stop it. It's like turning on a light switch. You inhale it, you have to get away from it, like turning the light switch off, or you suffer the consequences. It can harm every organ in your body, your heart, your liver, your kidneys, etc., your veins. Now, I want to get to this. This is just an example, because in this, I checked. Well, first of all, I had to leave that day because fumes had been put in. This was a week ago. I called here, and I'd stayed here 2.5 years ago, and I called here, and Josh answered the phone. He was at the desk. I made sure that the price, and they had the room, and they had a price, and it included tax, or if, and he said that was it, what he quoted me. Well, the next day I have a cab moving me. That cost me money, so they put me into looking like a freak, really. And I came over here. Well, there was another man on. I think he's the manager or maybe part owner. I don't know. The people from India had come in, and they own most everything, the Shaw and Patels around here. And they've become quite wealthy, let me tell you. But anyway, he quoted me another price and was arguing with me and all this. And I had to take the room they gave me, and it's a dump. And again, it's a little one, and it's a dump, and it's so, the fumes are bad here, and I can't get into what's happened here. But today at breakfast, a man that supposedly is across the street in the handicap, where I should be, handicap room, but what's happened in all this, they'll rent out the handicap rooms to people who aren't handicapped. I've seen this done before where I've been. I'm the one that's handicapped. I can hardly walk anymore. Getting in and out of a tub is painful, etc. But this man walked in at breakfast, and he started talking to me. And as he talked, he stood outside because the police came up. And I thought, my God, there were 3 that I saw, and some of them had left, and it was all because of a fight that went on here. Somebody got their nose bloodied. Had I called them out, they would have locked me up. I mean, you don't need a reason. They just do it. Anyway. So this man had to have been told, and this has happened in the past, and what can I do with it? He's in the handicap room, and he started talking to me, and they mischarged me, and I just now called. I knew they had. I called Josh, and he was at the desk, and he told me, he said, well, the manager on that day, he charges people what he wants. He said, I quoted you the right price, which included tax. Well, it wasn't the price I had to pay. He upped it $30-something, I believe. But anyway, I talked to the man again over in the handicap room. I didn't want to stay here, but it puts me low on funds, and where am I going to go? This is ongoing. If it's hard for you to wrap your mind around that it's going on in plain sight, believe it. Edward Snowden is in Russia for just telling a tidbit of the iceberg of what's really going on. But in other words, he ended up telling me the same thing as when I left here before 2.5 years ago, and what's been told to me so many times, that people will get a job, an apartment, and I put this on a tape a couple tapes ago, where a woman that I met here, the only way she got her apartment and got her kids into school was she did what they told her to do, and then they released it so she could get an apartment and get her kids into school. So all these people could have said no. They could have marched. They could have done anything. But I've been running around making look like the scum of the earth, and the law doesn't work for me. So, hey, how can you arrest all these people that have become involved in it? It's a conspiracy and an assault, and you just named them. You couldn't get them into court. So this man told me that he was maintenance. He even said he's living in the handicap, and told me what he was paying, which is what they told me I was going to pay. Josh did, and then I come over, and it's all another room that's awful, and it's not handicapped. I am, and I could go on and on. Anyway, this man told me that he had worked up at where I lived before his maintenance. I